was fine. So I'm here, Hugh Mellerick. On the 28th of February, I've just been released from Cloverhill prison.
January
the 28th. Sorry, just time goes by inside. You kind of get lost without the sense of time because there's no clocks or dates, you know. It's been a tough experience. I don't know what else to say right now.
There's a lot of sympathy for you.
Yeah, I mean,
out in the world.
My mind now is just like a roller coaster at the moment. It's just hard to kind of readjust. I know this would probably be nothing to people who have been in longer than myself, but I've never been in any kind of trouble with the guards before in my life. I would definitely consider myself to be a very upstanding member of my community.
Yeah.
I'm a secretary of my son's local school. I sweep up the neighbourhood with the local residents committee. I've liaised positively on a number of occasions with the guards in Mallow, you know. The fact that I was locked up for 8 days, I suppose it could be worse. It definitely could be worse, but the fact that my freedom was taken for 8 days simply for refusing to give my name and address on an unfounded solicitation. The prerequisite which was used was that the guards were using was that they could ask me my name and address, demand it based on COVID-19 regulations, but COVID-19 regulations are only regulations, they're not law, you know. Just for anybody out there who doesn't know, a regulation is only a regulation because it has only been passed through the lower house, through the Oireachtas.
Yeah.
It hasn't gone through the Senate and it hasn't gone past Áras an Uachtaráin. So there's no justifiable cause there for my incarceration. On top of that, even by the COVID guidelines and stipulations, one is allowed to attend a court case which directly impacts upon your welfare, and it definitely impacted on every single Irish citizen's welfare in the country. Every single Irish citizen should have actually been there. I was saying it to everybody in the day, it was quite possibly the single most important historical day since the founding of the state, you know.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
You know, for me, we were walking over O'Donovan Rossa Bridge, and we looked back, and the guards were obviously set to be put upon us. And to think that we sovereign Irish citizens, you know, who were there to support our constitution, from which all law derives. It all derives from our constitution. There's no legitimacy for any law unless it comes from the constitution. And to think that we were the few Irish sovereign citizens standing up for the epitome of law and order in the country, and that we're driven over the bridge, a bridge named after an ancestor of mine, well, a distant relative of mine down in West Cork, O'Donovan Rossa, you know, who gave his life, and many of them, so that we could have the freedom we enjoy in our society today. And to think of how it's being abused and it's being eradicated, and it's a very, very contrived, clever plan, everything, how it's being done, where the media, geez, I haven't watched RT in ages, but being inside prison, no, you're just subjected to non-stop blitzing of the media, and it is just non-stop, unabashed propaganda, never any side of the other story, never any of the top doctors, the top professionals in the world who are giving up their careers, you know, risking their pensions, receiving all kinds of sanctions, being socially maligned just to step forward and tell the truth. And and we're being censored online. Now we're being censored in the sense that we can't even attend a court case and show our presence and support for our constitution there, which is the constitution of every single Irish citizen, including the Gardaí, including police officers, including doctors and nurses and everybody. Without that, we are just going to descend into anarchy, because that's the way it's going. After that, I mean, I've seen headlines now in Britain where the British Parliament is discussing whether or not people should be only allowed out once per week. Once per week, that they be allowed out once to do groceries, and even worse, that while they're in the shop making their groceries, that they're actually going to be restricted from speaking to each other. So every single recourse for a free person and a free thinking person of critical mind and honourable heart is being shut down. And people just wear masks and go along with it. They just go along with it. They don't question, they don't ask any questions. We're on a very, very, very dangerous slippery slope. And I would echo John Waters' words when he said that I would appeal on bended knee to the legal profession, and even more importantly, the doctors and medics. This is their field. They are the natural whistleblowers. When something is going wrong politically in society looks to its naturally placed whistleblowers to say that there is something seriously wrong. And in this case, it is the doctors. And on bended knee, I would make a plea to any doctors and medics out there, please come forward, tell the truth. We've spoken to quite a few of you. There's over 40,000 doctors now worldwide in the World Doctors Allowance, all risking their careers and facing sanctions just to tell the truth that this is a hoax of hoaxes. It's incredibly well appointed, incredibly well executed, but you are our whistleblowers. Please come forward, doctors, medics, nurses. You're the ones with the specialist knowledge that would make the public sit up and listen. And if you got out with your placards and banners outside your hospitals, like was done in the nurses' strike, when the nurses justifiably were looking for more pay, they got out there with their placards and banners, and all of the public saw this, and they responded to it justifiably again, because they were being very badly treated. If the doctors and nurses did this would be over. It would be over in 2 days. There would be no mainstream media channel or paid pet scientist would be able to stand forward against it, because people would see with their own eyes that it is a hoax and it's killing our country. The suicide rate is going through the roof. The number of undiagnosed, untreated illnesses is going through the roof. We've even heard figures now from the pathology department. I would say which hospital to protect the identity of the person, but in a major hospital in Cork City, and they're talking about 4 or 5 suicides being admitted per day. Now, when you multiply that, Cork is 10% of the population of Ireland. You're talking about 40 at least per day. You multiply that by 7, which is roughly 300 suicides per week, multiplied by 52, and you're getting minimum 15,000 people dying due to suicide now, due to the hopelessness and desperation that all of this madness is causing. Now, doctors and nurses, you know this. Please come forward. I know it's going to be hard on you at the start, but there's enough of you there. Ye are the experts. Ye are the ones that can really do this. If you don't do it, it's just going to be hell on earth. And I couldn't make a bigger enough appeal other than to the doctors and nurses. Please come forward and honour your oaths. Honour your oaths to protect life. Everything about COVID-19, all the policies, all the unfounded sides is completely unscientific and anti-life. So please, I beg of you, come forward. That's about all I can say.
Oh, that was... Considering you've just got out from inside...
Yeah,
that
it was much more emotional
fantastic.
inside, I must say. I just on a kind of I'm on an anti-climax right now. I'm just trying to readjust even to outdoor light and smell of beautiful fresh air without a stinking mask clouding up my God-given right to free breaths of life.
Well, thank you very much for talking, and I'll get this processed, and we'll...
Thanks. And yes, further thing I want to see, I want to edit is thank you so much, Des, for being here. Thank you so much, Jenny. God bless you. They've both been here. They've both been here since 10 o'clock, and I've been hearing from my family that Des has made many inquiries and organisations on my part. Many sincere, heartfelt thanks as well to Dave O'Reilly. Thank you so much, Dave, being the coordinator as well. And thank you so much to my family as well for getting me out of here. Okay.
God bless you.
Okay.
Hugh, and thanks for everything. Okay, we'll end up here.